Today I'm talking about cell phone photography, and I was thinking it'd be fun if I started doing something where like I would take a bad photo and then I showed you 3 steps you could take to improve that photo. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. Alright, using my cell phone, I'm just going to walk out here. You know, it's beautiful, there's trees, seems like a good location. We'll go ahead and take a selfie here. And it looks absolutely awful. There's this huge sun flare coming in the front, washing everything out, and that's because the sun is in the photo right here and it's glaring off the lens on the camera. So step number 1 to fixing that is let's just step back a little ways and get all the way underneath the shade of this tree. I'm gonna kind of move over. I do want the sun behind me because that illuminates these leaves really nice. So I'm just gonna step back far enough that when I take a picture, the sun won't be glaring off the camera screen. Well, let's go ahead and try another one here. Looks worlds better already, just having it come back all the way into the shade so that the sun isn't hitting the camera lens. Step number 2 we're going to take is to set the camera on a background blur setting. Now most new phones have a setting where you can add a background blur to your photo. On my Galaxy S10 it's called Live Focus. So I'm going to choose that and we'll go ahead and try another picture with that live focus setting. Now here's before and here's after adding that background blur. Now the third thing we're gonna do is edit this photo. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into Lightroom. Now this is the PC version of Lightroom, but just so you know, there is a mobile version of Lightroom that would let you do all of these exact same edits. The other thing you should know is that some of this is good advice and some of this is just my personal preference for editing photos. It's also tailored to this specific photo. So following these exact same steps may not result in the same exact looking picture if you were to do it to one of your pictures. So learn from this, learn some techniques, but then you have to tailor it to your own photo. Anyway, I'm going to turn up the brightness just ever so slightly, the contrast a little bit, and then the shadows I'm going to bring up to about 35%. That's going to brighten me up because I feel like I'm the darkest thing in this photo right now and I want to be about even with everything else in the photo. So bringing those shadows up brightens up my face. Moving down to our color mix, I like to get rid of any colors that I don't feel like I really need in the photo. There doesn't seem to be much purple. If there is, it's just kind of scattered here and there and it's not doing much. So I'm just going to take away all the saturation out of that. Blue, the only thing blue in this photo is the sky, and if anything it just seems like it's distracting and drawing your eye away from my face. So I'm going to desaturate the sky all the way, bring up the luminance just a little bit. You'll also notice that when I got rid of blue, it took a lot of blue out of my shirt, and I like how my shirt now looks completely just black and white instead of having a blue tint to it. Now coming to the greens, I like the greens, they're great. I'm going to bring up the saturation just a little bit on those. Also, I just feel like the tint on this needs to go a little bit more towards yellow. Now coming to the yellows, I'm going to take the hue a little bit more towards green. So we're averaging those greens out instead of having a whole bunch of yellow and then a whole bunch of greens. We have a little bit more of an even look across to the greens, bringing them all into the same color of green, bringing up the saturation and luminance on that as well. Now with our orange, I'm going to bring up the saturation a bit on the oranges and the luminance is going to come up a bit as well. Now if we zoom in on my lips, they look a little dead. They're kind of purpley and white. So I'm going to bring up the reds. That's going to bring some life back into my face just in general. And I'm going to bring up the luminance on that as well just a bit. And that's all the edits that I'm going to do. So you can see before and after. And overall it's just a bit more bright and cheery picture. So let's go all the way back and look at our original photo. Here it is with the sun just glaring. Our first step was to go back into the shade. Then we added that background blur. Then we added our edits. So we've come a long ways just in 3 really quick steps. If you like this video, then subscribe. Watch more of my videos right here. Go take good photos with your phone. Be creative, have fun, and I will see you guys next time.